and welcome back to my channel, The Vintage Vegan here. In today's video, I basically wanted to share with you what I look for at the thrift store, the different types of prints, the different styles, and the different types of fabric that I look out for. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about vintage and what I look for at the thrift store, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I basically gathered a bunch of clothing that I have accumulated over the years, and it is all vintage, and I want to show you how I knew that it was vintage and just basically give you some inspiration on what to look for. So let's get started. Okay, so I have two dresses right here. Basically, these ones are definitely vintage, but they do not have a tag inside, but they are basically like that same material. I want to say it's like a satiny material, and they have like that like floral, but this is just super adorable. It's like a Cinderella dress. I love this color. I look for this color at the thrift store. If you love pastels, I definitely recommend just eyeballing out the pastel colors. So like when say you're in a thrift store and you're going down the aisle, you basically just eyeball out all of the colors that you're drawn to, skim the aisle, look at those things. If you find stuff, you find stuff, and then if you want to go back in and just take a look at everything, if you have some time, definitely do that. I definitely recommend doing that because you will find other things that are hidden in between stuff and things you did not see just from skimming the aisle. And you know, like items like this are just so cute, and I just love this. So this doesn't have a tag in it, but I still picked it up because I knew that it was vintage and like handmade. Sometimes things are handmade, sometimes the people that have previously owned it rip the tags out. So this is the second dress. This one's super tiny. I wish that it fit me. It's just like even tinier. But yeah, it's super cute. It zips up the side. It's just a cute little tea party dress, and it's basically the same thing. It looks like it was handmade, and it does not have a tag. So next up, I have this bathing suit. So this is very retro inspired, pinup like inspired bathing suit. Super cute. I love the green color. So I know I said everything was vintage, but this actually is not vintage. It's just totally retro pinup inspired. I really love this. So when you're at the thrift store, if you're into all that, definitely look out for like prints like this. Definitely look out for the polka dots and the like bright colors if this is your style. I think this is super cute, and the label, I don't even know. It looks like somebody made it. It says Riot Onu. I don't know if this is actually like a brand, but it looks like it was just like painted on there. But it's super adorable, and just how can you not buy this? Okay, so next up, I have a shirt that's not necessarily my style, but it is still super cute. I love prints like this. Super adorable. And it just has like a collar. But when you're thrifting and you find unique prints like this, definitely pick it up. It is super cute. This does not have a tag inside, but I know that it's super vintage. Again, with the fun prints, I picked up this skirt. It's super adorable. This is so cute. Like, this would actually look good with this. Like, in a way, like, I don't know if it's too much going on, but like on camera, it looks like wicked cute together. This just reminds me of like a schoolgirl skirt. So adorable. So when you're thrifting, if you find bright colors like this, it's definitely inspired by the 60s. This looks like it was handmade. It looks very old, but when you find prints like this, you definitely need to pick it up. These things will just jump at you at the thrift store. Sometimes you have to look, but with prints like that, it just pops out and you're like, wow, like I found a gem. And speaking of gems, this shirt is super cute. It's actually a 1980s sweater, and it says it's a gem, and there's all these hearts on it. It's super adorable. Okay, so this next item of clothing is a dress. Just by this color and the collar, I want to say this is 1970s, super 70s, so cute. Lately, I've been really into the 70s vibe going on. This would be so cute. Like, I need to like have a photo shoot in this, for sure. And the plaid definitely screams 1970s, and this polka dots, super adorable. And the tag says Carol Craig. A lot of the 1970s tags are like a gold color or like a brown, and they have like the little tags that say like machine wash cold, and it's like brown. It just looks old, but this is 1970s for sure. Okay, so this next item, it's not this big. It's actually a wrap skirt, so you're supposed to wear it and like wrap it around and tie it. But it's just a pretty pastel plaid skirt. Super, super cute, and the brand is actually James Pringle Weavers, and it was made in Scotland. So this is vintage, but I'm not exactly sure when. I do look stuff up online. You can find it like on Etsy. You could just type it in on Google. This is definitely vintage, but I'm not really sure when. Definitely like older because of the, you know, style of the tag. It doesn't look old. The skirt doesn't look old. Okay, so the next thing that I have is just this little, I don't know, kind of like it's like a cowl neck, I think it's called. I could be wrong. I could be making this stuff up. But it's just like a little tank top. And this with that skirt that I just showed you is such a Mean Girls look, such a vibe. This one has a tag, but you can just tell just from like the material. It's just like, I think it's like polyester, and it's just like lined. The tag's actually at the bottom. Sometimes it won't be at the top, sometimes it will be at the bottom, it will be in a weird location. Just always check inside of the shirt. So this says machine wash, warm water, tumble dry. Sometimes it just won't have the label, but it will have like this little thing. But you can just tell that it's vintage. I believe this one is from the 1970s, just from like the polyester kind of feel to it. Okay, so this next one is definitely a later piece, but it's still cute. I love the pastel colors and the little fringe. This label is super 1980s. So it just says Joni W. Made in USA. Usually when things say Made in USA, it's vintage. They stopped saying that in like the 90s, 2000s maybe. They don't really write that on clothes really anymore. And a lot of the clothes nowadays are from China or just other places. But yeah, you could totally tell this is vintage. The label is just screams 1980s. There are shoulder pads in here, but they're not as like, you know, like bulky as all the other shirts. But super cute, definitely different. I love things that are like unique, and I don't know, just look for like different things like older styles, fabrics, patterns. You'll just know, like, and you'll get a hang of it once you keep going to the thrift store and like keep thrifting. You'll just know what to look for and what's vintage just after time. Alrighty, so next up is this bathing suit. I definitely want to find a vintage 1950s or 60s bathing suit. Actually, I think this is actually 60s. So 1950s, like an older bathing suit would be so cool to find. Very rare, but I think this one is from the 1960s, I believe. I could be wrong. Maybe from the 80s, somewhere in between there. But super cute, and it's just like lined. There's a skirt, but then there's an actual like bathing suit part underneath. And the tag says Sea Waves, and it says size 10. It says Made in USA. So adorable. But I just love this, and I love these like little buttons at the top. It's just super retro, and it's like very flattering when you wear something like this. So this next piece is definitely not my style, but it is so cute. I just really like this. So this is the back. It's basically just like a cardigan. Super cute, right? It's just so different, and like it would be so cute for a photo shoot. It's just a bunch of like flowers. I believe this is from either the 80s or the 90s. It's definitely like a later print because it's so like, you know, like it's actually like a photo. But it's very cheaply made, you can tell just by like the stitching. And up here, like when something says a lot on it, like it's like an old tag and it says lot. Definitely old, definitely vintage. And this says machine wash, warm water, blah, 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 medium heat. So it's just like really, really old. And you could just tell by the tag. It does not have like an actual tag on it. Sometimes it does, like either down here, like throughout the sides. So this one, sorry about the price tags. I have like price tags on these because I did like a flea market, but I just kind of left them on there. This shirt is super cute. It's so retro. I love the brown polka dots and the little ruffle collar with the tie. It's just so flattering. Super cute. It looks better on, but this is just so 1970s. It just screams it when I look at it. It's like that like material. It's like a kind of like a spandex polyester mix. And this says machine wash warm water. This is actually from Sears and it's super old. I don't know if you can see this tag, but it's super old. You can just tell just by the style, the tag, so old. I don't know if there's one on the bottom as well, but just by feeling it and looking at it, you definitely know that it is retro. So I have another bathing suit. I actually picked this up and somebody told me, I forget who it was, somebody told me that this bathing suit just reminded them, oh no, this is like crunchy. This is really old. I don't know why it's so weird, but like inside, it's like crunching. I don't know. But this is wicked old. Somebody told me that it reminded them of like a grandma. I don't know why, but I feel like this is so flattering. Like these colors, that lime green, like how I had the other bathing suit, it's kind of like, you know, the same color. Super old and like vintage. I love these colors together. But I knew that this was vintage just from like the colors and like the material. And it says machine wash, warm, gentle, do not bleach. Usually things that are vintage, like they don't have the tag, either because somebody cut it off or they just don't have the tag. But it usually says like machine wash on it and like one little tag. You can just tell that it's vintage just by looking at this because it's like an older style and like just the way that it was made. So this next item is an accessory and it's a vintage bag. So a lot of you say that you cannot find vintage bags at the thrift store. They are a lot harder to find. This one is vintage and it's just, you could tell it's just like a different style. People don't really wear bags like this anymore, but it's super cute. It has like a scalloped trim at the top and then you just pop it open. And inside, usually vintage bags, not all of them all the time, they'll have this like little tiny coin purse. It's just so cute and this one's attached. It's super adorable. So this one does not have any tags inside, but you can just tell that it's like super vintage. And this bag actually goes like so well with my meals. Like this is such a look. So cute. But yeah, this is a vintage bag. Usually they will not have like a tag in it, but sometimes they do. Usually the ones that have they have like a label, but it's not like actually a tag. It's like just on the inside of the bag and it says like made in USA and it says like whatever it is. And you can just tell just by the font and like the look of the bag, the, you know, condition, and sometimes they'll even have a smell, like an antique smell inside. So now the last thing that I have to show you is basically just this hat. So this is actually, I believe that this is not vintage. It does not have any label or tag on the inside, but it's just super cute and like it looks vintage. Gives off that like vintage vibe. It totally reminds me of like Audrey Hepburn, like something she would wear. I love this hat so much. I just was so happy that I found this at the thrift store. You can find so many great things at the thrift store. All this stuff that I showed today was from thrifting. I just find so many great things and I cannot wait to go thrifting after like all of this is over and we can actually go out again. But yeah guys, that is it for today's video. Let me know in the comments down below if this video helped you or not. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any of my upcoming content. And also don't forget to follow all of my social media. Everything will be linked down below as usual. And I will see you guys in my next lovely video.